Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lunch for the Soul. Do I have a treat for you today? I'm so excited to introduce you to Candy Cane, we're going to call her, but her name is Candice Cesar. Welcome to this edition of what we are calling Lunch for the Soul.
Thank you, Melissa, for having me.
Well, you are a delight. You are incredible. I want to make sure everybody knows how I got to meet you. So back in 2019, myself and my photographer from Fox 26, we were in Washington, D.C. covering the Astros when they were at the World Series. You were there for a completely different reason, but you were also cheering on the Stros at the same time. It was so great to run into a Houstonian in D.C. Tell me why you were there.
I was in DC to complete the Marine Corps Marathon using my hand cycle.
And there you are, right there. We're showing a picture of that moment when I got to meet you and interview you and talk to you there. Now, I want you to tell everybody all about what is going on with you. Let's start from the beginning. I'm going to get you to tell me what happened back in 1999. You were serving in the U.S. Army, stationed in Germany, when something catastrophic happened.
Well, we skid on black ice. There were four of us in the vehicle. There were two non-commissioned officers. This vehicle, the axle broke, and the vehicle rolled over about 5 or 6 times. And the passenger behind me wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So I broke C6, C7, had damage to C8. I got a punctured lung, traumatic brain injury, and I was paralyzed.
And you lost your life. You died and they brought you back.
I did.
There was one thing that made your vital signs sort of peak and your heart would perk up, so to speak, on monitors. What was that?
That was a chaplain, the faith of my mom and the chaplain. When we were in the American hospital, my mother told me that my heart rate was really low, and it was after I had the second emergency surgery. And she said, with him there, my heartbeat would go beep 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 beep, and when he would get ready to walk out, it would just beep beep.
I have
That's what faith could do.
goosebumps. I have goosebumps. That faith was so deeply instilled with you. You grew up in church as a little girl, but there's something more than just showing up at church. This was something that was deeply rooted in you, that you believed yourself, and has gotten you through just an extraordinary time to do extraordinary things. So let's talk about what it means. You've been diagnosed as a walking quadriplegic. A lot of people might not understand that. Can you tell us what that is?
I didn't quite understand it either. But what happened is, with any time you have a break or injury in your cervical vertebrae, you're quadriplegic. You have all four limbs that are affected. For me, my left side is affected by sensory. So I don't feel hot or cold. I don't really feel pricks. I can't tell you if it's a pin or something smooth. On the right side, I have motoric problems. So I have slow movement. So where I can open my hand, I
Mhm.
can't do that with the limbs on the right side. So I have foot drop, much like a patient would from a stroke. And I'm very spastic, like a person with cerebral palsy.
But it sure hasn't slowed you down. What an unbelievable mission you set out to do. You decided, I am going to complete 100 half marathons by the time you turn 50 in all 50 states. It's remarkable to look at different pictures of you doing that and to see everyone else is sort of grunting and getting along. And you've always got a big smile on your face in 50 different states. Where did you dig deep in order to be able to pull this off? I can't imagine walking, running, biking, whatever, 13 miles, but you've done it 100 times in just a few years.
Well, it's all about faith. It's my faith in God. Because I was dead. I was injured. I was paralyzed. And the doctors told me, you're never going to walk again. And I looked at them and I told them then, you don't know who my father is. My God works miracles. And I believed that I was going to get out of the bed and I was going to walk a marathon. I did not know that a marathon was 26.2 miles. I found that out later when I started training. And After doing quite a few of them, I decided that I would try to do half marathons. And this lady came up to me out of nowhere and said, "Are you from Houston?" And I said, "Yes." I was in Louisiana at the time. And she said, "What is that thing on your leg?" And I said, "Well, I have foot drop. I broke my neck. I was paralyzed on the right side, and I'm going to complete a half marathon." And she said, "That's a really inspiring story." And she said, "What made you do that?" And I was like, "My faith in God. I believe that He would have me walk, and I wanted to show them that I could." And she said, "That's inspirational. You should share your story with one person in every state." And I got to walking and praying. And I was like, "Well, God, is this what you want me to do? Is this you speaking to me through someone else? Well, let's do it." So I stopped everything. And from 2016 to this year, I finished a half marathon in all 50 states. I am now at half marathon number 91. So I have 90, not, I'm sorry, 90. Oh my goodness. I have 9 more to go. And I'm looking forward
Unbelievable.
to finishing by 50.
And then when I met you, you were on the hand cycle, but you were doing these on your feet, right?
Yes, I was doing marathons on my feet. So I've done all, I've done 24 marathons running. I've done Boston 4 times. But when you met me, I was completing my fourth hand cycled marathon.
It's just incredible to think about all you're doing. Now, when you decided to set out across the country, you told me that you wanted to meet one person, share your testimony, and you were hoping that testimony would change their lives. And you not only met up with one, but you would meet multiple people and be able to share that story in all of these different states. Can you share what it was like to be able to have people listen to what you've been through and then to see how it affects their life?
It was really, I can't even explain. Like it was one of those awe moments. I remember one lady, I actually met her on the race course. I actually stopped my race. She was having a really bad day. And I was like, "Well, if I can get to the finish, you can get to the finish." And I shared my story with her. And she was like, "Oh my goodness, you really believe that God, saved you for this purpose to help others?" I said, "Well, right now is to get you to the finish line. But not only will He help you to get to the finish line, but to whatever finish line you have in your life that you need to go towards." That lady that I spoke to has kept in touch with me. And she was like maybe the 15th person that I had spoken to. She's my Facebook friend. She lives in South Carolina. And I don't get to see her often, but we do exchange Christmas cards. So
And that has to
that's
be meaningful,
one.
I would think, to be able to keep in contact with somebody like that and know that you made such a big difference. And Candice, I think about it's so hard for me to understand because it's hard for me. I walk my dog 3 miles and I am so done at the end of those 3 miles. And I've been thinking about you when I'm at my 3 miles and I just can't wait to get home. Where do you go? Obviously, I know we've talked about it being your faith, but how do you dig deep? Because I know it has to physically, at least I would think it physically hurts you to do it, doesn't it?
It does physically hurt. I actually sometimes I have to concentrate because with foot drop, that toe, even though I have a brace, will
Mhm.
drag across. I mean, I still have hip flexor and other problems. And propelling myself those many miles is very painful. But I don't focus on the pain. I focus on the sunshine. I focus on who has gotten me here. I think about the goodness in the world. I think about and I talk to God. Like I literally talk to Him while I'm doing this. Because let me tell you, I hate running. I was like, "God, are you serious? Is this really what you want me to do? Okay, if
Mhm.
this is what you want me to do, then I'll do it. And I'll do it with a smile on my face, but I don't like running." And He says, "Find that person." And usually, when I'm at that moment when I can't go any further, that's when a person comes up to me. And it's like, "Okay, God, this is the person. All right,
Mhm.
lights, action, camera. Let's do
Mhm.
it." And then I'll share my testimony.
And your testimony is just So incredible in so many ways, because you think about from the moment of your accident. And when I was talking to you earlier, you were telling me that when they took you out of that vehicle and they put you in on, a snowbank, basically covered you up on top, but your body was lying in snow, which kept your brain from swelling and from you not being able to survive, or for being brain dead, or for, having lifelong problems. Moments like that. You're in hypothermia, and that was a blessing. Who can say that? I mean, do you just feel like this responsibility almost, that you're here for a reason, and you were certainly living up to that now?
I truly believe that I'm here for a reason, and I am here to share the miracle. There's so many of us that have a purpose that we don't know that we have. And I'm just happy to know what my purpose is. It's I try to keep people moving. I like
Mm.
on my shirt, I have it says I race, and it stands for inspiring recovery actively through commitment to exercise. And I believe that you don't just exercise your body, but you
Mhm,
have to exercise your mind
mhm.
and your soul. That's what does it. That's what keeps us going.
I want
It's
to
that
show you
love in
how
our
I want to show you how much our viewers are just so impressed with you. If you can see Gigi's comment here, she says, "I am so proud of you." And then we have Judy who says, "Praise God." I will second that. Here you go. "My God is a healer," from Pastor Mark James. And then Angela says, "Amen. Faith did it. Believe in God." And then Mary says, "May God keep on blessing you. You are indeed an inspiration. Thank you for sharing your story." And that's what you're hearing, not only in the Houston area, but all over the country. I want you to go in a little more about what that's been like to plan. That's a lot of planning, to go to 50 different states within just 5 years. How on earth do you pull that off? And then how do you decide which states next? Did you go in alphabetical order, or just straight up the map and out? How did you strategically plan this?
I didn't really strategically plan. I do belong to a half marathon club, and I do have friends that I've met running that were they were like, "Hey, I'm going to South Carolina. You want to come with me?" And I was like, "Hmm, let me see if that fits in my calendar because I do work. I'm a speech language pathologist by day. I believe that my job is to serve. And so, what better way to serve than to help people with cognitive impairments, language impairments? I too had one, and I remember what it was like. And so, I would have to when I first started, I worked in the school districts. So I had to plan some time off
Yeah.
around. I would run during the holidays. I did a lot of running during the summer. And let me just tell you, it was not always cost effective.
Oh, I
But
bet.
I tried to plan them like a month or two in advance. I would do the hotel and the airline reservations and the rental cars as
Mhm.
far in advance as I could. I'd register for a race a year in advance. And right before I go, I'd drop down on my knees and I'd say, "Lord, is this where you want me to be? Because if it's not, then I won't go." And I
Mhm.
remember one time, and as this was this past summer, I was supposed to do South Dakota in August. And I really didn't feel like I was supposed to go, but I wasn't sure. And I asked the Lord, and I just didn't hear him. So I said, "Well, give me a sign. Just give me something that you know that I will know." And we flew from Houston to El Paso. When we landed, the plane was broken. The guy the at the gate said, I watched your plane come in. I don't know how you guys landed."
Oh my
Our
goodness.
plane had some type of technical problem. And we sat on the plane for about 30 minutes before we got
Mhm.
off. And they finally said, "You're going to have to get a new plane." Well, when the guy said that to me, I said, "That's my sign." I
Yeah.
walked up to the gate agent. I said, "I'd like to a round trip ticket back home. I, I'm not supposed to go to South Dakota." So I finished South Dakota this year, but in September. And instead of speaking to one person, there were five that the Lord had me speak to.
So that was your reason, and that's why you didn't go. There are so many times in life when I think about, you have the little red flag, or some warning bell goes off, or just that thought, like, especially a woman's intuition, and you don't follow it. How just above and beyond for you to listen to that and to change your plans and to do something about it. And I think that we could all certainly learn from that. I'm just looking at some more comments. I love seeing these come in. And I had mentioned earlier how impressed I was that every picture I saw of you, and believe me, you guys, I saw probably her in all 50 states, and she's always smiling. This must be someone you know, because Christy
I
said,
do.
every race you see her, she does it with a smile. So seconding that. And then Valerie says, you are a miracle and an inspiration. God bless you. I just love that everyone is feeling your love. Okay, so guess what, everyone? I have to tell you that you would think 100 half marathons might be enough in 5 years, but no, not our Candy Cane. She's got other things in mind. So Candice, you got to tell everyone what you happen to be doing as far as some type of shooting is concerned.
Well, right now I am training to become I am a para archer, but I would like to be a Paralympic archer. So I'm currently training for the World Championships in Dubai in February.
And you are going to be in Paris in 2024. I already see it. I see your name in lights, girl. That's the goal, right?
Yes, that's the goal.
How much would it mean to you? And is that important for you to have? I mean, I don't know how you beat 100 half marathons, but I'm guessing this will do. And not to mention all the marathons you've done. What is there, 24 or some
Yes, ma'am.
unbelievable number like
24
that?
marathon.
Yeah, we can't leave those out. Those are a big deal. So this is the next big thing, huh?
This is the next big thing. I found archery in a sort of a weird way. After I was injured when I fell from training for the marathons and I was in the wheelchair, I was like, what am I going to do? I don't want to push him. I don't want to race in my racing wheelchair. So, and I love hand cycling, but I just wanted to try something different.
Mm-hmm.
And I found archery. It's really calming and soothing. And I said, why not?
And will part of your mission to do that and to go on and achieve that goal be sharing your message and testimony with that as well?
I will always share my testimony with everything that I do.
For someone right now who says, gosh, I wish I had that faith. I wish I could believe in myself like that. I wish I could push myself harder. I have a feeling there's a higher power. They just have that desire to feel the light that's in your eyes and in your mind and your soul. What would you say to them?
Just believe. Just believe. I I can tell you, I was not always this faithful. I was not. I just got to a place in my life where I knew there's a difference when you are unsure, but you just have to know in
Mhm.
your heart of all hearts. And pick up a Bible. Pick it up, read it. Find him because he is there waiting for you.
If someone wants to follow you further than what we're doing with this conversation, that's going to be wrapping up fairly quickly, do you journal? Do you share it on social media? Is there any other way they can follow you as you head into new goals in your life?
I guess I need to. I do have a Candy Cane Runs page. I
And
guess
it's
I need
KK, right? Candy?
right.
KANDIKANE. Okay.
KandiceCesar.com.
Okay.
And I also have an iRace Facebook page, and it's iRace.
Well, as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with one final very positive thought from Pastor Mark James. The world needed this. Thanks for having her on. May God bless this show. What a beautiful thing to say. Thank you, Pastor. We do feel that love, inspiration is needed in this busy world that we live in. And it's so nice just to be able to take 20 minutes. And I chose Wednesday because Wednesday from my family is also considered a holy day. It's where my children are at praise on Wednesday nights and they praise worship and being lifted up and getting their spirits ready for the rest of the week until we can get back to Sunday and in our church. But faith certainly gets me through my life. It's gotten me through some very difficult times. And Candice, you are such a cut above of anything that anybody's gone through. You could have thrown yourself the biggest pity party in the world deservedly, but instead you're blessing us. Take care of you. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. We are thankful to know you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you all. You
All
too,
right.
Melissa. Thank
You
you.
take care, and we will hopefully check in. And I'm going to be following you to Paris, at least through social media. Unless I can talk Fox into that. All right. Take care of yourself.
All right.
Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much.